Hello, hello.
Hello.
How I'm not even sure if anybody is in the stream right now in the audience, but hello, Krish. How are you doing today?
Hello, Nurio. I am doing well. I am alive, and it is a great day to be alive. How about you?
Well, similar to you, I finally got my stuff back in order, got work done finally after a long hiatus. And what's a better way to kick stuff off than a stream with Krish Gupta, the one and only?
Yeah, a stream with me and a refrigerator on the side as a topping is a must.
Well, man's got to eat, Krish. The refrigerator is full of food. Where's my hand?
Gamer hygiene. You just
Exactly.
do this. You move your chair back. You go here and you grab food. This is not food,
Exactly.
but yes,
That's good food.
that's a
By the way,
max.
yes, more gamer hygiene. I don't know if you can see this, but this is KCD Mumbai.
Yeah, I cannot see too much light. You can
But
see mine.
yes, Hacktoberfest. We all know you rock at Hacktoberfest, Krish.
Vyom says the
Title.
title isn't clickbaity enough.
Hmm. Got to figure out how to make a clickbaity title. Then, Vivom, any suggestions
Yeah,
for
you
next
don't
stream?
go
Of
like
course.
this. You go like, I got roasted by a 15-year-old at web design. That is how you make a clickbait title.
That's gonna be the YouTube word title.
Just make sure to cut all the parts where I tell you how to make a clickbait title.
Nah, I don't think I'm taking that much effort. So, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? I invited Krish to teach me web design, or rather, to roast me on my crap web design skills. I think that's a more accurate description.
So you're gonna be using Figma for this?
That's the only thing which I know, which you'll use for making wireframes. Unless you have any suggestions for a different tool,
I suggest Figma.
we shall go with Figma then. And we have the Figma expert.
It's easier to roast in Figma.
Let the roasts commence. If I can figure out how to share a screen and the right screen. And this is the right screen, I assume. So somehow I did figure out how to open a new thingy here. What do I do now?
Okay, let me have a look. Okay, so you created a new team, and then you created a new team project, and then you created a file.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, so first of all, you click F for frame. Now
And
on
I
the
do.
right,
Oh,
no, on the right, you delete this now.
yeah, yeah.
F again. On the right, you see sizes.
Interesting.
What you
Let's
were
go.
doing was for a custom size, and I don't think
Those
that.
are terrible. Yeah, we do not want custom.
So you can click on MacBook 16-inch. I think that's good size.
Mm-mm-mm. Are you sure MacBook 16-inch or would a wireframe be better? What is a wireframe, anyways?
A wireframe is where you don't put any colors or anything. You just have the sections, the basic layout. What
Ah,
you for you what will be beneficial is to go for the entire design at once, because wireframing is for the experts.
yeah, I am far from an expert. I'm far from even a newbie here.
I think that it's beneficial to go through the different steps separately when you have a big team where one of the section is working on UI, another is working on the UX, and etc. and etc. But you're simply working on a website design. Why would you go through all that effort?
True. True. Good point. This is a little limited, so I'm assuming this is you design one component in so much and then to add.
No. So this is for a page, a screen. What you can do is you can extend it from the bottom.
Okay, that,
You can just extend it as much as you want. That's not problematic.
okay. I was assuming that you would make a second frame and then attach it over here to indicate a second component.
No. First of all, you're
All right.
getting something wrong. Components are things that you can reuse. They are like functions. Give them arguments, you reuse them in design or in
Hmm.
development. Over here, what would be a component would be something that you would reuse, for example, a button or a heading. And there's a different way to create components. This is you
Understood.
creating design. You're creating elements over here. You're doing nothing with components.
Okay. So, do we have components within Figma designs or not?
Yes, you do have components within Figma design.
Okay, cool, cool. So,
So now, what do you want to make first?
I think let's start with the header thing. I think that's the most obvious thing we can start out with.
Okay, do you want to make something that will exactly be replicable in development, or do you just want to make a rough idea of where things are meant to be? It's going to be a design still, not going to be a perfect design. You add the touch ups in the development, or do you want to add all the touch ups in the design?
I think it would be a waste of time and energy if we added all the touch ups here because even if we go ahead and do it in development, I'm gonna have to take at least 2 to 3 days to figure out how to do those touch ups. So I think making a rough draft would be a better idea, like a basic design, and then we iterate on the process as we progress in the dev.
Okay, so now let's do two things first. Let's choose typography and let's choose colors.
Typography, fonts, colors, obvious. Okay.
So for fonts, obviously you cannot look at fonts over here. You go to something like Google Fonts to look at fonts.
Hmm. Google Fonts. Let's see. Is there some sort of science behind selecting some sort of font? Because I am quite bad at understanding what's the difference between something like Roboto and Noto Sans. The only difference I can see at first glance is size. Noto seems to be larger than Roboto.
Okay, so you majorly need to worry about a few types of fonts. One of the font types is comic, like Comic Sans. One
Hmm.
of the other ones is sans serif. That is Open Sans, Noto Sans, Roboto. They are sans serif. Another one is serif, which is like Times New Roman. Have you seen Times New Roman?
Yes.
It has, I think you call them ligatures or something on the corners. You have like pointy bits, and similarly, there are different types of fonts. You can,
Okay. Awesome.
I think it's Time New Roman. Just search for New Roman. It will be here something. Wow.
Okay, that's actually
Oh,
weird.
you have some filters.
Why?
I do have filters.
Uh, I have no idea. That's what was applied by default. Hmm. Okay. I mean, time. I'm quite familiar with Times New Roman. Back when I was, I don't know, in my single-digit ages, Times New Roman was the default font I used in Word
Yeah.
and any text document.
I think you can just search for serif. You will find it. If you search for serif, you will find some similar font. Yes, see, these are
Yeah,
like Times New Roman. So these
those
this type
pointy
of
bits,
font
right?
is called serif. Okay, what font looks better? All depends on the context. If you're going for a classic theme, then Times New Roman looks better. If you're going for a modern theme, then display fonts look better. And if you're going for a simplistic or minimalistic theme, then fonts which are sans serif with large width look better. You cannot go wrong with sans serif. That is the general
Let's
idea.
let's go for the minimalist theme then with the sans serif thing.
Sans serif is a type of font. It's not the name of a font.
Okay, then.
Okay, so Noto Sans is like a sans font. So what I think are good sans fonts include Montserrat,
Can you spell that?
T. You got it first.
This one.
First result. This is a good font. Another good one is Poppins.
I think I've used Poppins quite a bit within my slides. I like Poppins.
Another one is Inter.
Enter.
Inter. Inter.
Enter. Okay. Interesting.
Another one that is good for headings is Futura. Futura.
Futura.
T. T. Futura.
T. Okay.
Okay, it's not on Google Fonts, then you'll have to find it somewhere else. Some fonts are not on Google Fonts.
Futura font. Well, I think that's what we want. This one, right?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Futura.
Cool. Cool.
There is
Let's
also
keep
the
that open.
font. There's also the font Century Gothic.
Century Gothic. I'm terrible at spelling,
Spelled
so
century wrong.
how do you spell it then?
You remove the A. No, why
Century.
did you
Okay.
remove the?
Okay, it's not here. I'm not really a fan of Century Gothic. I think Futura, like you said, is good for
Heading?
headings. And then the other one which I really liked was not Monstrat.
Poppins.
Poppins. Yeah. Poppins is also good. I think let's go with these two.
Now the thing is, Poppins, Futura, and Montserrat, all three of them are majorly used for headings. You can use
Oh.
them in both places. It's going to look fine, but generally they are used for headings because they
Mhm.
have so much spacing, they have clarity of characters, they are big. What people do is they pair Poppins and Inter. If you can look at Inter once, they use Inter as the body text and then they use Poppins as the heading text.
Interesting.
You can use
Yeah, the
Poppins as both the text as well. That's not going to be problematic.
thing is with Mondstadt, the spacing between the characters looks just way too much, even for a title. It honestly speaking, this is making it really hard to read it, at least for me. But
You should see this in bold because the titles will be bold. So first make this bold.
uh, how do I check the bold?
The last one is the bold one.
This one.
Yeah, in the end there will be bold ones. First of all, increase the font size. On the top there is the setting to increase the font size.
Whoa, 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 that's a
Increased
little
it
too
too
much.
much.
Let's just keep
This
it at
much is fine.
100. Yeah.
Now go down.
Yeah, thin is not really that great.
See
Black it is.
black 900. And you can actually customize the amount of spacing between these characters. This is not
Okay.
this is not like set or rigid because each
Hmm.
character is a different glyph, it's a different image. W, capital W is a different character, H is a different character. You can tell the browser that how much space do you want to keep between those two images, glyphs, or characters.
Interesting.
They are called letter
Well,
space.
that's Mondstadt. Let's check out the same stuff with Poppins and with Inter.
Yeah, Poppins is a bit rounded.
Hmm. That roundness, I'm thinking, is going to be a little bit weird looking, at least if you go at a larger font size.
Yeah, that so people who use this also use Valra round, which is a completely round font in their design in
Interesting.
some places. This is in its the most basic font. It is not too round, not too anything. It's comparable to I think Montserrat.
But I'm not sure if this is just me, but do you feel dyslexic when you're reading Mondstadt? Because it feels like W is a little low, H is a little high, E again low, if you get me.
The W is
Okay.
a little low, I just noticed.
Yeah, it looks like up, down, up, down, up, down. A little dyslexic, if you ask me.
Then you can use Into. See,
Yeah, let's.
these
Hmm,
fonts are not meant to be the best fonts for readability. The serif fonts are meant to be the best fonts for readability. Uh, the ones like Times New Roman. That
hmm,
is why you use them for legal documentation.
I see. Well, I think let's use Inter as our header, the title ones, and you mentioned using sans fonts for bodies, right?
All of these were sans fonts. Inter is a sans font.
Okay, interesting.
See, every single one which has edges like Inter is a sans font, sans serif font.
Cool, cool.
Sans serif is basically serif but without the corner bits. There's
Mm-mm.
also Ubuntu Sans, I think.
Yeah, no, Ubuntu. I have experience with that. That is terrible.
Okay, no. I think it's called something else.
There is an Ubuntu Sans. There is one specific for whenever you install Ubuntu, whichever version of it. But personally, I think that looks terrible. Every time I did that, I just switched over to Noto Sans.
Okay. So GitHub also has a font. So Noto Sans is Google's font. GitHub has a font, but it is mainly for monospace characters programming.
Hmm.
And Microsoft has their own font called Sioj UI.
Interesting. Pira Sans. This one looks fun.
Fira Sans comes from Fira Code, if you've used that one.
What is Fira code?
A font for code.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's use this one then. You want to go for a slightly techie look anyway, so Pira Sans it is. Pira Sans and Inter. Let's close the other two. Do I have to download them and upload them to Figma? I think I remember
No,
doing
they
that for
have
something.
Google fonts by default.
Okay, then.
So
Uh,
now
Let me just try this. Test text.
make it huge though. We cannot see anything.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm trying to find it. Oh, okay. This is Inter by default.
Yes.
And the next thing I wanted was Fira Sans, which is this. All right, cool. Let's use this as Inter and play around with this. So first step which we want to do is make a header, right? So how should we put it? Let's position some.
What is this
I think we
header
should
for?
navigation probably.
Why is this so big?
It has to be changed. This is, I realize that it's too big for a header.
See, it can max be 28 or 32.
Let's just keep it 32. 32 looks fine. 20.
Change the shape. You have three buttons for the shape. So if you look on the under the text option, there is first of all Inter at the top,
Hmm.
that is for the font family. Then there is regular, which is for font weight. You can change it to medium, semi bold, bold, etc. I
Black
think
back.
medium will look good for the header. Medium or
I
semi
think
bold.
I think for now we'll just keep it as a simple NorioHub, and then I grab the logo and put it next to this.
Wait a
I think I
second. Wait a second. Click on the text again, or you have. So now next there are more options as well which you should know. So first you see that auto.
yeah.
This is the line height. This is not relevant right now because we only have one line. So it will not make any difference. Then there is letter spacing
This one.
next to auto.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yes.
I think
This
this
is letter
makes
spacing.
Yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory. Let's put it 10 and just see what happens. Hmm. I think 10 is fine for this, to be honest.
This is not readable at all.
I mean, do we want this to be readable, to be honest? Because we're going to have the logo next to it anyways. This is more like just a placeholder, right?
Um,
Does
People
like
who are
this,
not able to
this,
see the logo, see the title.
oh, right, right. Accessibility. Yeah, you see, this is
This
stuff that I'm dumb about. I have no idea that these are things you have to consider.
Okay, so you need to first of all learn the principles, and then I think you can design something of your own. So,
Okay.
one of them, contrast, of course, you have to maintain a contrast ratio. Do you know what is contrast?
Color contrast. So, like, your colors shouldn't, they should be distinct but also look good at the same time. I think you and I have had this discussion in a voice chat before.
Yeah, so what contrast means is that the text on top and the text at the bottom should maintain a ratio which decides whether it is readable or not. It is called the contrast ratio. So if you go
Okay.
to you can just search for something like contrast ratio checker.
Yes, I know I've made typos. If there's any grammar nerds in the chat, please don't roast me.
Sayan is not here, you don't need to worry.
This is exactly what you meant, right? About colors related to contrasting.
Yeah, so now see the ratio over here. If you put this blue color on white, then you get the ratio of 8.59. So whenever you're making something, you have to make sure that the ratio on the text on top and the bottom is good enough so that people can actually see it. Otherwise, I won't be able to see it.
Hmm.
Then
Now,
if I don't see,
just to clear some stuff up, when you say top and bottom, let's say I have a square over here which is, I don't know, red. On top of the red, I put the NorioHub tag. Okay, I have no idea how to layer this, but basically
you
you get the
layer
idea.
it,
NorioHub.
you see the left side bar,
Okay, yeah.
you just move it on top.
So this is what
You
you mean by
cannot
contrast,
read
right?
this.
This exactly, the red thing is the background, and the NorioHub text is the what's it called? Foreground, right?
Yes,
Okay,
and you
cool.
cannot read Know Your Hub because it's not visible like this.
Yeah, I just wanted to take an example to understand the whole contrast thing properly. Okay, that much is cool. And this is one thing. What's the next principle that I should keep in mind?
The next principle is differentiation, not the maths
Okay.
one.
I'm terrible at that to begin with, so thank God.
Right? Differentiation, basically the text that is your headings and the text which is your body text should look different. But people understand that this is
Hmm.
body, this is heading. Your heading text should be big. It should be, it should have a better contrast ratio. It should, how do I say this? It should, I think, be bold. It should just stand out. The body
Be-
text can be a
hmm.
little bit grayish. A easy way to do this is you can just decrease the opacity of the body text. You can try it out. I
Okay.
think you have the Norio Hub heading over there. First, decide
Yeah.
where are you gonna keep the Norio Hub heading, because okay, I'll tell you this trick. Click
Hmm.
on the MacBook Air frame.
Yeah.
You see layout grid.
Yeah. Found it. Okay.
Click
This
on the
is
grid. No, the other grid
within the frame, or
in the frame. No, in the frame, the option of grid, the grid that you
uh,
just created under layout grid.
yeah. This is
Yeah,
what I
now
get.
over there is the option, the drop down. That's what I'm
Okay. Okay.
telling you to click. Make it columns.
Oh.
Now decide, you have to make your entire page be within some columns. Now what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are leaving some gap on the left and on the right, so that everything looks centered and there is some space which is dividing it from the screen.
Hmm.
You need to add some space on the left and the right. Okay, I cannot
So
see the options clearly. Just a second.
yeah,
Yeah, it's margin, I think. It's margin. So
there is
margin
margin.
is going to, if you add some more margin, then it's going to add space on the edges.
5 is too little to see. 10. This is what you're
Yes.
talking about, right? Okay, that's
Yes.
interesting.
You should make it more. You can just calculate it. You see the width option in the frame?
Yeah, 1728, right?
Yeah, you can just take this number and try like 5%. If that does not work, go for 10% or maybe 2.5%, depending on if it is less or more. This is how you can do it. Basically, binary search, but
Hmm.
you do it with the percentage. So
Okay,
for
that's
that, you can
actually
just
interesting.
add your equation. You can add 1728 into and divide it by. Just add your equation.
Yeah, I'm terrible at math, so I'm gonna do those equations later, but 100% is way too much.
No, that you're
Answering
not
will be.
entering it in. Okay, that's fine though. Right. So this is margin is the space on the edges.
Hmm.
Gutter is the space in between of these sections.
So this one.
Yes.
Okay. Let's put this as maybe, I don't know, 35.
And
Okay, this is starting to make sense now.
then of course you can have the number of columns you want in the website.
12 is definitely a little too much. This, if I look at 12 columns and assume that every single column is going to have one element of something, this kind of reminds me like one of those 2000s web pages, or one of those Japanese web pages, stuff which is overloaded with stuff.
See, the point of columns is not to add items in this. The point of columns is for it to be a guide for yourself, so that when you're positioning stuff, you can position them with the columns. So the page is going to look more aligned. These columns
Hmm,
are not going to show up in the website. These are only for your reference and so that you can align things. So you can add more columns if you think that you want to do more alignment, you want to have more things to align to. You can do less columns if you want to have less things to align to.
got it. So for now, I think let's just leave this at 4, the default. And we have this principle done. What was this principle again about spacing? I remember contrast, differentiation, like have your header text different from your body text.
No, this was just
Contrast.
some, the sides, the image you leave on the space you leave on the sides is the part of spacing, but there are a lot of things as a part of spacing.
Hmm.
This is not just the only thing. But now what you would want to do is, you see the Norio hub that you've put over there. So there
Yeah,
are three options on the text menu. I was going to show you these three options. There is, first of all, under the line spacing, there is paragraph spacing, which is irrelevant for right now.
because
Towards
we
the
don't have
left,
paragraphs.
yeah, towards the right of it, there are three options on how you want to make the length of this element. So in HTML, there are three types of how you can make a element box appear. So every single element in HTML is a box.
Hmm.
Every single thing is going to be a box. There are three types of boxes. One of them is an inline box. An inline box is simply the width of the contents inside of it. It's like a anchor tag, a link tag. It's going to be just that link. It might span more. It's just going to be simple, straightforward. Forward, all the contents inside, nothing else. If the inline tag has one A inside of it and I make it AB, then it's going to become as much space as both A and B together take. But if I remove the B, then it's going to turn back into the amount of space that A takes. You can change it to the inline one, the arrows, the line segment.
This one,
Yeah,
auto width.
auto it. So
Did
if
I
you
actually
remove
change
some
something?
text, no, if you it that change the width of the text box that you had. So now if you add some text, let's say you add NorioHub community, instead of going to the next line, it will just be here.
Hmm.
You're going to add to it. And now let's say you change it to the paragraph one,
This is
auto hide.
auto height, right? Hmm.
Yes. So now in this scenario, what happens is that your width is fixed. You have to specify the amount of width. That
Hmm.
my paragraph, this thing is going to be 700 pixels wide. And then whatever extra space it takes, it's going to go on the next line. It went on the next line, right? You saw that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The last
And how
option,
do?
the yeah,
Mm-hmm. Good. Good.
go ahead.
Uh, I was asking, like, how do you define how much is your width going to be? Do you have to
So you read
manually
the
put this
width
text box?
1728 earlier. You read the width 1728 earlier.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, that you
From here.
scroll up. That's the same place you edited. Okay, give me a second, please. I have a call.
Yes. Sure. Sure. Came here for the memes, but this is actually helpful. I agree with you, Vipom. I was expecting a lot more memes, but this is fun. Okay, while Krish is not here, let me quickly check out Discord.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so
Welcome back.
the same place where you took the 1728, you go to the same place over there. This is actually a text box. You can edit
Mhm.
it. You can make this from 278 to 300.
Let's make this 300. Okay, interesting. That's fun. Let's keep it 450 for now, I guess.
And you can also drag this. So you can the you see the edge,
Yeah, I
which
did that earlier. I did that earlier.
yeah, you can do that as well. See, now you also dragged it in the height. So you got
Hmm.
the fixed width and fixed height.
So now I'll
So
have
now,
to select the auto
no,
height
so
once again
now
too.
everything is going to overflow. If you add more text, which is not in the boundaries, then it is going to overflow. You can try it out.
Um, and join us on. I mean, it's increasing in height, but
It did not increase in height. The
okay, that you're
box,
talking about text box, right?
yeah, the box should not increase. So in HTML, what is going to happen? This is going to give you a problem
Hmm.
when you're making this in HTML. So what you should do for things like these, which is like a simple label, it should always be the auto width thing, inline, auto width. So you'll never face this problem. If it's going more further, then you're gonna have then it's gonna go more than the page, and then you'll have to fix it. You'll have to debug it. But unless it's not going to be more than the width of the page or the container itself, you can have it be this. This is good for the
Understood.
titles. So titles as in the nav bar menu options and buttons. So over
Got
here now change it back to just NorioHub. Make sure to align this to the box, the column. Is it aligned to the column?
it.
Yes.
It
So
is
now
now.
every single element you're creating, it should be aligned to the column. So similarly to how you created the columns, you should also have rows. So
Okay.
now you click on the frame. You do the same thing, but this time you do for no. You create a new. You see the new button,
One sec. One sec. Oh yeah.
layout grid. New button. Yeah. So now do the rows like I told you.
Rows. Okay, this is fun. And then I think I'll set the same margin as a column, which was
You can make
50.
this a different color so that it's less confusion.
Let's just make it yellow.
Yeah, you should probably make it blue.
Okay, that's better. Okay.
See, now you've made it 50, you made it too much. Because have you seen a website with like 50 pixels on the top left out? Have you seen a website
True,
like
true.
that? So you
Nope.
should reduce
Like
this. Now
10. I think
align the
10.
Norio Hub thing that you created, whatever margin you are deciding. You're going to learn how much margin you need to take, how much width you need to take with experience. So I'm not
Hmm.
going to go too much on that. But what you can do is you just have to make sure that you're aligning Norio Hub to this. And whatever paragraphs you're creating, whatever elements you're creating, make sure you're aligning them to these columns and rows. If you need more columns, make more columns. If you need more rows, make more rows. But what is important is that everything should be aligned. If it is not aligned, then you're ruining your life as a designer.
That's blunt. That's the very first roast that Krish has made today, I guess.
See, I'm not in mood to be the villain today, right?
No, but I agree with you. Like,
So alignment was the next principle.
which
You
we
have to
just
make sure that
covered.
everything is aligned. So I'll actually give you an example. Can I present?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. Wait. I should just create a new file, right? New file.
Probably.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Frame. I frame. Desktop. MacBook Air. Okay. Let's go. So now let's take the example. So let's create NorioHub over here. I am gonna go with, let's say, can I go with Futura? Yes, I have Futura installed, so I'm gonna go with Futura. This is just because I like that font. It's subjective. 32, 28, 28. So now let me do the same thing that you did, but I'm not gonna take 2 ages to do that. Let's go with 5. 5 is good. Um, hmm. Margin, let's keep 20. Gutter, 10 is fine. Let's just keep 20. Then I'll just do the same for rows. 5 stretch. Okay. Why are people calling me? Okay. All right. Blue. Let me make this blue. Now I make the margin be 10. Let's see. So you see this section does not have any margin.
Right, right.
So this one does not have any margin. This is plain white. This is just straight. So this is like that. And this is sort of purplish. So it's falling in both the column and the row. So I
Got
can
it.
align this over here. Let's say I align this over here, NorioHub. And then if I hide these for a second, this is how it looks. Now let's say we are obviously going to have more titles and things, right? So I'm going to duplicate this, and let's see, cultivating tech enthusiasts of tomorrow or something. Let's do 64. We'll go for a bold theme. So this is going further. This is going
Hmm.
more than the, if you can see, it's going more further than the uh,
Pages,
width itself, right? So I'll make this smaller. I made this 4 columns. If you see, this is exactly 4 columns. Why did
right.
I make that? Because I'm planning on adding something else over here. You cannot leave it empty. It should have
Hmm.
balance. Actually, I want this to be medium. Yes. So now if you see, we have NorioHub on the top, we have this over here. And if it was here, and then if we had some text which was like over here, let's say some text, regular, and the opacity thing I was telling you, we'll make this 80 so that it's a bit grayish. So now I'm going to write something. Let's say, first of all, I'll have to make the font low. Let me make this 24. Get it at 24. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a lorem ism generator. This is sample text if you did not know. Lipsim. Is this the page?
I think everyone who's ever wanted to try development has gone through the Free Code Camp website and has encountered lorem ipsum at least once.
Yes, so this is um lorem. Okay. Too much. This is going to be max. This is going to be the max you're gonna have. So now if I remove this and this, how does this website look, Noria?
I'd say like someone with dyslexia has tried to make this.
Exactly. This is why you go ahead, you align this. You align this to a column as well,
Hmm.
right?
But Krish, I
You
think the earlier one, right? It could have worked if the lorem ipsum we made it center aligned, or what is that thing called? Like
then you're
centering
doing
the
it.
text.
Yeah, then you're centering everything. So then center is your alignment.
Hmm.
That is going to be a different scenario, right? The point is to explain that if I have this over here, this is something that most people do. They have it this like something like this, and this like this. Does this look good? This is aligned, but it's not aligned to the nav bar. It's
Right.
still looking bad. And then they're going to have the next section, and it's not going to be aligned. And when you look at it zoomed in, you're going to realize that how much of a problem it is.
Makes sense.
See, and now I'm going to tell you. So this is for one thing. Okay, what is wrong? Okay, this is paragraph spacing. Sorry. Um. Okay. Okay, we do not have lines. Reading. I'll add this later. But if you look at this, we have this much of text. First of all, you should not have this much text in the hero. So I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to center this so that there is some space between this and this. Right. And what I'm going to do next is, so this obviously has, so if your font size is 64, so this generally is 64 times 1.25 something. So whatever your font size is multiplied by something. So over here the font size is 24. So it's 24 multiplied by something. I can do 24 multiplied by 1.25 and it increased, right? I can do 24 multiplied by 1.5 and it increases more. And this looks good because it's in the hero text. If you look at it, this looks good because it's in the hero text. If it was in the text of, let's say, an article, it would not look good
Hmm.
because you'll have too much space.
True, true. And
So
in
this is
article,
basically,
you want to try and put more readable, more content inside rather than just make it look good, right?
yeah, no, it should look good, it should be readable. But if there is so much line space, then you're leaving too much empty space. Because if most of your text is, most of your content is text, and then you have too much line space, it does not look good. Over here, it looks good because I have 3 lines. If I paste more lines, let's go to the lorem back again. Okay, let's paste more lines. Does this still look good?
Yeah, no, too much.
If I even reduce this, if I reduce this to this much, does this look good for a hero?
True. Like I think 3 lines is probably the best amount.
Right? So 3 lines, and then these two are aligned as well. And if you noticed, it decreased this to 80%. So it's grayish. It's not black, it's gray, if you
Hmm.
notice this. And this is pitch black. Where is the heading? See? Pitch black,
Right.
gray. You
But for
make this
even for the
low.
opacity, right? You probably wouldn't want to go below 60% for this text opacity, right? Otherwise, it will
So you
become
can
too.
go below 60% for text, that is not important. Even if I go below 60%, it is still okay-ish. I think I have a plugin for contrast. We can see, we can make it something like 60%. If it's too bad, 65%. Let's see. Plugins, manage plugins. Contrast. So Figma has plugins. You can go for contrast. If we go for contrast and we say run, okay, mixed colors in the group. Okay, see, this one has AA rating, so it's passing the standards, but it's not passing the good standards. So it's not good, it's not the best you can have, but it's passing the standards, right? Now let's see if I make this 75, it's passing. If I make this 70, is it going to be passing? It's passing. So 65, passing once again. I think 60 is the borderline for this, but if you have a different color on the background, then of course you have more flexibility. I will keep this at 80 because this is the hero text. If it was not the hero text, if it had less importance, then I would lower it once again.
Got it. So, we want to increase the opacity for stuff that is not that important, right? So, for example, if you're
No,
trying to,
increase means to make it more. colored. Increase means black.
Hmm.
More opacity means it's going to look better. It's going to stand out more. More opacity is for important things.
Hmm.
Less opacity is for less important things. For
Stuff
example,
that
this
doesn't
Norio,
matter as much.
yes, for example, this NorioHub thing is not as important. So I can make this 80, and then I can go ahead and make this 75. That is also going to look good. But if I make this 75, it stops
Yeah.
looking good. This has to be something like black. So now then you have to pick a color. For colors, there is color theory actually. Color theory in UI design. I don't remember the link because I did this design a long time ago, design thing. That what link did I use, but I generally understand what each color means. Okay, where is the theory? Okay, where the hell is the theory? Psychological theory. Is this the one? Let's just open one or two and let's see. See, so red indicates excitement, strength, love, blue, trust, green, nature, yellow, creativity, orange, confidence, pink, compassion, purple, royalty, brown, dependable, black, formality, white, clean, simplicity, innocence, honest.
I think I've seen this before, like not in the sense of designing, but just this overall color theory, like what color is representing what sort of emotion. I think I've seen that before.
So, can you give examples of companies that are using this colors, and how it is?
Well, black and white apple, um,
Give a better
orange.
example. Apple is not a good enough example for black and white. Apple is, yes, a big thing, but it's not that big, I would say,
Hmm.
in terms of like being sophisticated or something that is very important, very luxurious. Apple is not that luxurious anymore.
I mean, if you're talking about luxurious, then the one brand, quote unquote, clothing brand which comes to mind is Zara. I think their website also uses the black and white tint.
Yeah, it's black and white mostly. It's just the colors.
Yeah.
Um, if I go to some of the, yeah, black and white. If we go to, let's say, don't they have a about page?
I do
In,
not think so.
okay, here they do. Okay, see, black and white, plain black and white,
I
plain
mean,
black and white on.
their website is not good, but let's not comment on that. It's just for the colors which we're talking about.
Yeah, it's just for the colors. I mean, look at this. Their logo overlaps instead of the
True.
text sometimes. See, newsletter.
And let's see. With the blue one, right? I think Commodore is a good example of the blue theme.
I was thinking you will give the example of Facebook or Twitter.
I, I haven't opened Facebook in ages. Twitter, I
See,
can't think
Facebook
of
is blue.
much.
Twitter is also blue since the beginning. There's a reason why they are blue.
It's black and white now.
Yeah, that's Musk, but before that it was blue.
True, true, true. Yellow, right? Like,
I don't think we need examples for yellow. Blue
I
and
mean, the
black
one
are,
thing I can think about for yellow is Google, but that's only a partly yellow.
yeah. See, red makes you very, very hungry. So, this is why McDonald's uses red in their logo.
Interesting.
So, with that, we can pick a color. For now, I'm going with the shade of purple because purple is my favorite color. I am
I
biased.
can tell you're wearing a purple shirt as well.
Or we can go with, we can also go with like turquoise. That's also gonna look good.
Fun idea. Krish does web design roasting every weekend slash month on his YouTube or Twitch. That's actually an
Whose
interesting idea
idea
for
is
me.
this?
Vivom.
Okay. Yeah, no, not big of a roaster.
I mean, we can make this as an event in the server every weekend or every once a month. We do Krish roasting session, and then Krish just comes. People
See, when I
showcase
used
their
to
open
live
source
stream,
projects.
when I used to live stream, people used to send me their website, roast this website, roast that website, and it was like one dude sent me a website which rendered a 3D model inside of my browser.
That is roast worthy.
And that was completely unintentional. It was not like he was trolling me. It was only after this, the entire browser crashed. It's like, why did the browser crash? And I was like, what did you put in the website? I had to open it once again, and I was like, why is a 3D model running inside of your website?
Lamau.
Yes, you take this month, so right now it's still looking empty, right? But we have one color now. You have one color. Okay, first of all, let me bring back those grids. I think what is one thing that I need to fix over here is I want to increase the margin for the rows.
Hmm.
Yeah, again, you're going to see it and then you're going to realize what things you've done wrong, what things you've done right, and then you can fix them. That is basically how this goes.
I mean, isn't that how everything in design goes?
Yeah, everything in design goes this way. So now let's first of all make a button. So I'm also going to tell you how to make a button. So for this, let's make a new page. What do you think? Let's make a new page called components.
Yeah, sure. I mean, buttons we're going to have to reuse anyway, so
Yes. Um. Okay. Components. So you can make a component. First of all, you need a frame. In this scenario, we don't exactly need a frame, but we do need text. So let's add text. What should be the text? So the text is
joiner.
customizable, but for the default, let's have it button.
Sure.
Let's group it. So we have an empty group. I'm going to use this group to add color to it. So now
Okay.
why am I using a group? What beginners would do, they would take a rectangle, put it over there, make the button text up.
I was about to say that.
This is bad. This is really, really bad. If you do button XYZ join now, it just overflows. And now you don't have consistent padding. Even if
But
you
if I'm
click
not
this,
wrong, isn't there a way to group both of those elements so that if you increase the text, even the box is going to increase in size?
okay, if
I
you
believe there
group
is a
this,
way to do that.
if you group this, it does not work. What you have
Okay.
to do is you have to create a flex box. Do you know what a flex box is?
I have heard of it. Dynamically increasing, dynamically resizing box.
Okay, yes. So basically, what a flex box is, it makes the container fluid. So the container does not have a fixed width. The width depends on the size of the elements. That is what a flex box is. In Figma, you call a flex box auto layout. You click on plus, now it's auto layout. What you do over here is you tell it how much gap. So of course, gap does not matter because we're not going to have more than one element in the button unless we have a icon, right? And then the next thing, let's make it 10 actually, still, because if we have a button variant, then we won't have to edit too much things. And then what we can do is we can add, first of all, let's change the color. So the color, let's use this turquoise, right? And this of course has contrast. If I go contrast, see, okay, no, this is not good contrast. I need to change the color. Okay, let's see, what can we do? Can we make it, okay, on the black side it is still passing a lot. So
But
what
it's
I can
still
do
not
is, yes,
having.
yes, the best rating. What I can do is I can make this lighter. Okay, no, this way is not lighter, this way is lighter. So now that this is lighter, okay, it actually decreased. I made it lighter. See, this is okay. No, I'm selecting the wrong thing. Okay, see this. Now the text has the perfect rating. I can go. This is why brands generally have more than one color, because one, their brand color might look good. I'll show you example. This, if I make this blue, it looks okay-ish, but it's not as good. Let me select this. Can I do the plugin again? Okay, it cannot do multiple colors. Okay, let's see. We'll use a manual one then. Contrast checker. Okay, let's see. I put in this, then I put in this. See, this has a rating of 2.38. This is failing literally everything.
That's bad.
Everything. This is why brands use more than one brand color. So if I control Z, yes, now it's darker again. Let's see the code this time. Okay, I closed it. See, this is passing for a good amount of things, but it's not passing for everything. It's going to take you time to devise like 3 or 4 colors which are going to look good on a lot of backgrounds. I think one color which is going to look good. Let me go here.
So just a
This color.
question. If, for example, if we have the background as some sort of an image,
Yeah. Why did you mute? Okay. What happened? Okay, Norio went on mute. Okay.
okay, I'm back. So I was saying, if you have an image in the background, right? An image basically has got multiple colors. How are you going to handle the contrast on that? Do you have some
You
sort of
just
contrast
add
check
some sort of box. You add some sort of box
to the
before
text
the.
element?
Yes, you add a box in the background, which can be black or something, or you can just make it such that the image only shows up for the half of the side. I'll show you. So this color, I think this might do good in the contrast, this purple. I'm going to change it to that. And if I go for this one, I did some time looking at this purple. That's why it's going to look good generally. I think this text has to be something else, but we'll leave it over there for now. But what I did is, if I come over here, see, I have a selection of colors. This is one proper background. This is a proper dark background that I can use, which is according to the brand. Then there is, of course, this purple I can use. And this is a shade of white. I labeled it as white. And I'll show you a very clever use case of this. Look at this. Green is mobile. I think this blue is desktop, and this blue is television. You can
Okay,
make this sort of a use as well of this.
that's
This is
actually
YouTube
super
cover.
interesting. That's actually a really good idea. I'm going to steal this idea. I've been using Canva so far for making my YouTube background, and becomes really difficult to get those different device thingies.
Yes. Okay. Right. Let's go further. Now we were making the button. Okay, this should be white now, right? White. Yes. It just looks better in white, but again, you'll have to go through the contrast checker to check what type of white it should be, whether it should be a very dark white, whether it should be off white, what should it be, right? You have to go through a contrast checker, check a few times, and then decide the colors. But let's name it button, and you click on this button on the top component, it becomes a component. Now you can add a property. You can add a text property to this on the side. The text property can literally be text, and it can have a value of CTA, let's say. Then what you can do is you can come here, and you see this, there is now this insert button. Click on this and okay, call again. Who this time? Okay. But yes, you do CTA. Um, okay, where did the auto layout go? Okay, I made the width fixed, but if you make it hug, right? Then it's going to size according to the text. So now, first of all, I'll have to make this some big text because you're not going to have CTA over here. Call to action. And now I can come here. There is assets. I can drag this button down over here. This is a very large button. It's smaller. Okay, how do I make this? No, I'll have to add a font size property. Okay, let's see. So you'll of course need to create more different variants for this. Like what you do is what is the size of this? Okay, 500 in width. No, okay. Let me make this 24. Smaller button, yes. Then of course I'll have to make this 10, and this can be 15 respectively. So generally, what should you do is, okay, no, I did the opposite thing. Generally, the margin on the side should be bigger than the margins on the top. That is the general rule of thumb, because you have more stuff on the sides than the top. Basically, the vertical space is less than the horizontal space, so there should be more horizontal padding.
Okay.
And this
One
is,
thing. One thing I want to
yeah,
ask you about padding stuff on horizontal, vertical. Does that help out with responsiveness as well?
or with,
Responsiveness.
yes, it does help with responsiveness, because if you have more space to click on the button, then people are not going to miss it. But if you have less space on the button, then people are going to miss it.
Got it.
So on mobile, it's hard to tap on small things. Add more padding, easy to tap on things.
Got it. Got it. And to actually create that responsive design, you would go ahead and use everything in flex boxes, right? So that as your screen gets resized, your buttons are also changing and still looking good at the same time.
What do you mean?
So in responsiveness, you basically resize your screen, right? Once you're
Yeah.
resizing it, your elements also dynamically change where they are. They either go into a vertical layout or something different depending on how much smaller width and height you have, right? So are you going to use more of flex boxes to do that, or would you just go ahead and use normal divs?
You will use more of flex boxes, of course, to do the all the uh, responsive stuff, right? You will of course use them, but what do you have to keep in mind is that the flexbox is only going to help you in, okay, let's make this entire thing flexbox, let's say. Okay, this looks really bad because you can only have one amount of space. The flexbox will look good on the nav bar. Should do it on the nav bar. Let me show you a flexbox example. It's going to take me time to create example.
No, sure, sure.
Mm-hmm. Is this the one? Let's see. So look at this. These are your divs, right? That is what you mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With Flexbox, they are going to decrease in size as you are doing this. At one
Mhm.
point, you can make it such that they go on the next screen. You can also do that with Flexbox CSS. But yes, you use Flexbox for the size of the container. The individual element size you have to do yourself.
Okay.
You can do it with a media query.
Media queries. Okay, I remember reading about media queries. But
Yeah,
can you like for those individual elements, right? The box of one, box of two, box of three, for example, you can set some sort of rules for it, right? Like if this width condition is met, then you move on to the next line.
that is basically what a media query is.
Cool, cool.
Okay, so now you see what I did is I made this have less padding. If you see, these two things have less margin. They have 10 spacing. But this and this have 37. I should 37 in spacing. Why is that?
We're talking about the rows and columns, right?
No, we are talking about the space between the elements. Look at the elements, these two have 20 space. These two have 37 space. Why?
It looks better. Actually, I'm not able to see which elements you're talking about. Your highlight is on NorioHub and your cursor isn't moving.
Mm, is my screen paused? Do you see StreamYard again?
I see StreamYard, yeah. But when you are
Yeah,
in
I'm
Figma,
talking.
okay, yeah, it's I can see stuff now.
Yeah, so call to action. I'm talking about the call to action. The space between call to action and this text is 26. But the space
Hmm.
between this and this is 11. Why?
Uh, um, Alignment with the rows and columns,
No,
the grid.
because you want to make the call to action stand out more. If it's
Right,
further,
makes
then it
sense.
stands out more. See, if I
Got
add it,
it.
if I give it the same thing, this does it stand out?
It looks a little hard to spot, I would say.
Yes, that is why I had it where it was. That is why you move it a little further. So the importance of the thing, you make it go up or down based on the, you add spacing to it based on the importance of the thing. This text is might not be too important compared to these two things. So there will be more space around this and this compared to this, and this
Right.
will have the most space.
So
Yeah.
we've got the highlights on the things which we want to actually bring attention to. If you're a tech
Yes.
enthusiast, your call to action is coming and joining the community.
Yes.
Got it.
But this is basically um this. Yes.
Well, fun stuff. Learned a lot so far. If you've It's already almost 9:30, so if you've got more time we can keep going, or
I
I
do have
can.
more time, but what I think is that if you, if I say more things, if I speak more things, then you're not going to be able to recollect all of that information in your brain in one go.
Well, I think this was quite productive, to be honest. And I think the best thing which what we can do is I try and make a sample design of my own,
Yes.
send it to you on Discord, you roast me on that, I'd figure that out and then continue the rest on a different stream.
No, we roast you on stream. That's the important part.
Oh, okay,
The
sure,
roast,
sure.
yeah, the roast should
I'm
be,
fine. I'm fine with that as well. Feel
see,
free to
the
come
roast
on the
should be
stream and roast.
on the stream.
Absolutely.
Can be review instead of roast. Yeah, I was reviewing somebody sent a 3D model that rendered in your browser because they did not know how to have it pre-rendered. I was-
Somebody with a fourth gen Intel i3 CPU is going to have some steam coming out
Dude, my stream crashed on a MacBook.
because of that render.
Yes. To be fair enough, I was using a browser which is really bad at renders, Safari. But that is still epic to have it crash down.
Epic moments caught on camera.
I might actually have a clip of
We're going to have to put that on Twitter.
that. No, not that one. That's gonna have the person's name, right?
Oh, right, right. I mean, we can blur it out. We know how to edit videos.
I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I know how to do it.
Every weekend slash month on his YT slash Twitch. Can probably do every month. That is the best I can do if it's my YouTube or Twitch. Because then I don't have to handle a lot of stuff. For example, this time I'm doing this in Norio's channel, on Norio's Twitch. So then Norio will have to edit it. And Norio will have to see what is going to be the description, what is going to be the title, how do I share this link to the people, all his
Oh,
tension.
oh no, no, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go to my Twitch settings, do export to channel, connect my main YouTube channel to this, which is my tech YouTube channel, and then just upload it. Put a little bit of description. Hi, I talked with Krish about web design, discuss some basics, blah blah blah, and just upload. I'm not even going to share about it on Twitter or anywhere. Just let it organically reach whoever it wants to reach.
Interesting.
Yeah, but this stream was great. Even Vivom said it. He came here for the memes, but this is actually helpful.
See, you can just take a picture of Norio. That is instant meme. You just have to take a screenshot, a picture of Norio, and we can make it into a meme. In fact, I have a picture. I'll send it to you.
Bring on the memes. Bring on the memes.
Yeah, I have the best picture. So basically, Norio is stretching in that picture. So
Oh no
he's
no no
showing
no 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 no
quality.
no 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 no! We are not using that. I will send you a better one. Use the better one, not that one.
No, we are going to use that. And what you have to do is you have to take Photoshop. You have to take somebody from the basketball team, and you put the basketball team person behind Norio. That's all you need for the meme. Just all you need for the meme.
um, who do we even know that plays basketball? I literally have no friends who are into
LeBron
sports.
James will do. We just have to take someone from any basketball team.
Okay, then I thought you meant somebody we personally knew.
No, we just take anybody from a random basketball team. LeBron James or somebody. But we have to make sure that it's a lesser known one so that people can't recognize the person so that they think that it's real.
Hmm. Maybe ask Cavalier. I think he used to play basketball. I think I remember talking about that with him. Maybe I'm gonna find a basketball court locally and invite him and then get a pick.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. So I'm just not going to say anything about that because you also know the meme that we are creating, which where Kevalia definitely does not fit in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, feel free to come at me if you have any doubts about web design, Figma.
Absolutely. So, Krish, thanks for joining today. Learned quite a lot. I mean, I think we had discussed some of those topics before, but visual representations always help a lot more. Well, I'm gonna call you again for the next roasting session, hopefully later this week itself. So, yeah, bye bye, Krish.